Journey into Willowcrest, Hearthling Tales, Episode 0. A calm, 30 to 35-minute fantasy sleep story designed to help you drift gently into rest. Evening arrives in a way few travelers ever forget. It does not fall over the hills quickly, nor does it fade in a sudden sweep of shadow. Instead, it drifts softly, patiently, as though the world is exhaling after a long, unhurried day. This is where your journey begins. On a quiet ridge overlooking the edge of a valley you have never stepped into, but which, strangely, feels as if it has known you for a very, very long time. The ground beneath your feet still holds the warmth of the sun. A faint breeze brushes the tops of the grasses, carrying with it the scent of warm earth, fresh leaves, and the slightest whisper of something sweet. A scent that feels like a memory you almost remember. You take a slow breath, and the ridge seems to breathe with you. Far below, the curve of a crescent-shaped valley begins to soften into view, its edges fading into the first gentle shadows of dusk. This is Willowcrest, not a land of grandeur, nor a place of towering cliffs or roaring waters. Nothing here tries to impress you. Nothing demands your awe. Yet somehow, with a single glance, you feel your heartbeat settle, as though something in the air has placed a warm hand. Quietly over your thoughts, you begin to walk. The descent. The path downward is narrow, lined with tawny grasses that sway without rushing. Your footsteps land softly, as if the earth has made room specifically for you. The light shifts with every step. Sunset melting into gold, gold softening into amber, amber sliding into the first cool blue of night. As the ridge drifts behind you, the valley opens wider. On either side rise two long, gentle hills, not steep, not sharp, but curved like protective arms. The Hearthlings call them the Guardian Hills. They say the hills bend the winds, soften the storms, and carry away anything too heavy, before it can sink into the valley's quiet heart. And that is why Willowcrest always feels a little warmer, a little safer, a little slower than the world that surrounds it. You continue downward, letting your breath fall into the valley's rhythm, a rhythm that seems to hum deep beneath the soil. The first whispers of willow-lined trees. Halfway down the slope, you notice the silhouettes of the first trees, tall, slender, their branches falling in long, graceful ribbons that nearly brush the earth. Willow-lined trees, the signature of the valley. At this distance they appear still, but as you draw closer, you notice a soft motion, a gentle trembling of their branches, as if stirred by a breeze too delicate to feel. Then, just as the sun disappears behind the Guardian Hills, something begins to glow. Small flecks of warm amber light blink into existence between the branches, soft at first, then slowly brightening into tiny floating beads of gold, not fireflies, not magic, simply the natural breath of a valley that glows from within. Hearthlings call these lights lanthir seed, seeds of the night. They hang in the air like sleeping stars, caught gently in the weaving fingers of the willow branches. As the breeze finally reaches you, the trees respond with a hushed shiver, and the lantern-like seeds flicker softly, casting faint ripples of light across the path. The sound they make, a thin, delicate rustle, is unlike any whisper you've heard. It is the sound of a valley settling into its night. You follow the path beneath them, letting the golden flecks drift around you, like warm, slow-moving dust. Your shoulders loosen, your breathing deepens. Willowcrest is already working its quiet magic. Glowfen stream. Soon you begin to hear something new, a gentle hush, a slow, murmuring rhythm that rises and falls like a calm heartbeat. The path bends, and the Glowfen stream slides into view, clear as polished glass, glimmering with a soft ribbon of golden light that flows along its surface. Glowfen does not sparkle sharply. Its glow is closer to a memory, blurred, warm, soothing, as if the water itself remembers the daylight and refuses to let it go completely. The tiny stone bridge you cross echoes with a faint, rounded hum as the water slips beneath your feet. With every step, the stream's song grows softer, the golden glow thicker, until the two feel inseparable. Light and sound woven into one gentle lullaby. When you pause to listen, the world seems to quiet. Around the sound of the slow-moving water, you can feel the valley's calm, settling deeper into your bones. First, Hearthling homes. Across the stream, you see the first round doors. Homes built into the soft slopes of the hills with warm wooden frames and circular windows that look like sleepy eyes, peeking through the earth. Stone paths curve gently between small gardens. Soft herbs spill over the edges, mint, thyme, little sprigs of moonleaf, their scents drifting into the air. As the night begins to cool, one by one lanterns bloom at the doorsteps, glowing spheres of warm gold, neither flickering nor glaring, just glowing steadily, kindly. The Hearthlings light these lanterns, not to chase away darkness, but to warm it, to soften the night, and welcome the dreams it carries. A kettle whistles faintly from one home. A window glows with quiet conversation in another. From somewhere down the slope, the gentle clink of a teacup echoes through the stillness. You have not yet met a single Hearthling, but you feel their presence, peaceful, unhurried, woven into every corner of the valley. Night wind. Then it comes, the sound you did not know you were waiting for. A low, almost melodic hum drifting across the valley, like a breath drawn from the heart of the night. Night wind, the lullaby wind of Willowcrest. It brushes past the willow branches, carrying the hush of the Glowfen stream, nudging the lantern light into soft, swaying circles. When the night wind moves, the entire valley joins in. The trees whisper, the water hums, the lantern glass shivers with a faint ring, and you, whether you mean to or not, fall perfectly into step with its rhythm, slow, deep, even. It is not a wind that chills. It is a wind that settles, drawing the last threads of the day away from your thoughts. For a moment, you close your eyes, and the night wind continues its quiet work, loosening your breath, softening your shoulders, gently lowering you into the valley's own pace. Soft seasons. As you walk, the valley begins to open its memories to you, not through words, but through sensations. Woven into the drifting air, you feel spring in the faint sweetness underfoot. The trace of blossoms that once lined the slopes. You sense summer in the warm afterglow still clinging to the stones. Autumn reveals itself in the distant rustle of leaves, falling with a lazy patience that only Willowcrest seems to know. Winter lingers in the cool hush surrounding the lantern paths, not cold, just quiet, like a soft snowfall that never fully faded. Here, seasons do not replace one another. They blend, passing gently through the valley, without ever disturbing its rest. Beyond the valley, though Willowcrest feels like the quiet center of the world, it is surrounded by others who share in its calm. Far to the west, the elder grove watchers drift between ancient trees, slow, thoughtful beings whose presence can sometimes be heard in the low, rhythmic sighs of the forest. To the south wander the dusk march nomads, their tiny stone chimes ringing softly as the night wind carries their songs across the open plains, and to the north the stream-hollow fishes hum their gentle melodies over wide, moonlit waters, songs that sometimes drift all the way to Willowcrest's quiet doorstep. None intrude, none disturb. They simply exist, threads of serenity woven around the valley like a soft, protective shawl. Arrival in the heart of Willowcrest. At last, you reach the valley's center. Here the lantern light gathers like warm honey, pooling across the gentle curves of the hillsides. Glowfin moves beside you, a golden ribbon, slow and patient. The willow branches above glimmer with resting lanthair seeds, their amber glow drifting like tiny dreams caught in mid-air. Night wind weaves all of it together: water, light, leaves, breath, until the valley feels less like a place you have entered and more like a presence you have joined. You stand still. The world stands still with you. And for the first time since your journey began, you understand Willowcrest is not simply a valley. It is a resting place for weary hearts, a home for quiet thoughts, a companion for peaceful sleep. Your breath slows, your thoughts soften, and the valley wraps its gentle night around you, as though welcoming you into a dream that has been waiting just for you. You close your eyes, and Willowcrest shimmers softly into the quiet. Part 2. Beneath the willow-lined canopy. Dusk has now settled fully over the valley, but the darkness you expect never comes. Instead, the light changes its shape, softening into something warmer, gentler, as though the night has decided to arrive on tiptoes. You continue walking. The path beneath your feet becomes narrower, and the grasses grow taller, bending lightly as if greeting you with silent nods. Ahead, the willow-lined trees deepen into a wide canopy. Their branches cascade downward in long, drifting veils that sway with the faintest breath of wind. As you step beneath them, the world shifts. The evening sounds fade, your footsteps soften, and a delicate hush settles over everything. Not emptiness, but a quiet full of life, moving at a pace slower than your own. You pause. It feels almost sacred, as if this part of the valley chooses to reveal itself only to those who walk slowly enough to notice. The lantern-like seeds, lanthair seeds, glow brighter here. They hang in clusters between the branches, casting warm, golden patterns across the ground. The shapes move as you walk, gentle ripples of light that follow the sway of the willow-lined leaves. You pass your hand through one of the glowing clusters. The lights scatter softly, drifting apart like loose embers, before gathering themselves again into their quiet little constellations. The air beneath the canopy is cooler, carrying the faint scent of damp bark and crushed wild herbs. A soft sound accompanies your steps, the whisper of branches brushing one another in slow, rhythmic waves. Here in Willowcrest, even the trees seem to breathe. You walk deeper still. The canopy thickens above you, weaving the branches into a living ceiling that filters the world into blended shades of amber and deep violet. Each step carries you further from the day and closer to something timeless. A calm so old, so woven into the soil that it feels less like a place and more like a memory you've somehow returned to. Far ahead, you see a faint shimmer, the first sign of Glowfen stream, catching the early breath of night. But before you reach it, the path widens into a small clearing. Here, the willow line roots knot and twist into natural benches, as though the valley shaped this spot for travelers to rest. Above the clearing, lanthir seeds gather more densely, their quiet glow drifting downward. In lazy spirals, you sit for a moment. The ground is warm, the scent of evening herbs stronger here. The willow branches sway slowly above, casting soft stripes of light and shadow over your hands. Somewhere deeper in the canopy, a low, soothing hum rises. Perhaps the wind, perhaps the voice of the valley itself. Whatever it is, it flows through you, with a rhythm that eases your breath into something slower, calmer, steadier. You feel yourself settle, as though Willowcrest has momentarily borrowed your thoughts and is gently smoothing out their edges. Time loosens. Your shoulders sink. The clearing seems to glow a little brighter, the golden reflections turning into a warm halo around you. When you finally stand, you feel lighter, unhurried, completely present. The path ahead narrows again, guiding you toward the soft shimmer of Glowfen stream. The willows part just enough to let the golden ribbon of water peek through the branches. The valley is inviting you forward, and you follow, not because you must, but because Willowcrest has made every step feel like a quiet welcome. Part 3. Glowfen stream and the deepening night. The sound reaches you before the sight does. A faint, silvery whisper, soft as a distant breath. It drifts through the willow-lined trees, mingling with the rustle of their branches, weaving a quiet invitation into the deepening dusk. As you step out from beneath the canopy, the world opens again. And there it is, Glowfen stream, a gentle ribbon of water, slipping through the heart of the valley, shimmering with a light that seems to come not from the sky, but from the stream itself. You walk closer, drawn by the soft way. The water curves along the land, never hurried, never still, moving as though it remembers every traveler who has rested beside it. When you reach the bank, the air cools slightly, carrying the clean scent of river stones and moss warmed by the day. Little glimmers rise from the surface, tiny threads of pale blue light that drift upward before fading gently into the night. They look like fireflies, but softer, their glow pulsing in slow, calming waves. You kneel beside the water. The stream carries no sharp sounds, no splashes, no rush, only a smooth, steady murmur that washes through your thoughts like a hand smoothing fabric. You lean a little closer. Beneath the surface, stones of different shapes and colors lie scattered like forgotten memories. The water glides around them, silencing their edges, making every shape look rounder, gentler, as though the stream itself refuses to let anything remain harsh. You touch the surface. The ripples that bloom outward move slowly, as if the valley urges even the water to be patient. Your reflection appears softened in the glow, blended with the branches above and the drifting specks of light. For a moment you feel as though you are part of the valley, not standing within it, but woven into it. The willows at your back sway with a deeper rhythm now, their branches brushing lightly against one another in long, slow strokes. Each movement seems to release a quiet shimmer of light from the lantern-like seeds still hanging above, as if the valley is breathing with you. A gentle breeze sweeps across the stream. It carries tiny glowing motes into the air around you, letting them drift like small, weightless wishes. You follow their movement. One drifts close enough that you can see the faint swirl of its inner glow. It pulses once, twice, and then rises toward the canopy. As it rises, the sky above the valley deepens into a muted shade of blue, the kind that belongs only to places that have chosen peace as their native language. Stars begin to appear one by one, as though the valley is lighting them manually. A careful spark here, a soft glow there. Glowfin stream gathers their reflections and carries them gently along its surface, turning each star into a small drifting companion. You walk slowly along the bank. Every few steps the stream widens into small pools, where the water settles into glass-like circles. The reflections here are clearer, the sky meeting the earth in a quiet embrace. Your footsteps soften still further. The deeper night comes, not as darkness, but as calmness. A settling, a smoothing of edges, the kind of quiet that loosens the thoughts, still clinging to the day. You breathe in. The air feels cooler, heavier in a comforting way, a gentle weight, pressing you into the moment, with a softness that asks nothing but stillness. Somewhere upstream, a low melodic hum rises. It blends with the stream's murmur, a harmony so natural that it's impossible to tell where the sound begins or ends. It drifts toward you, wrapping itself around your thoughts like a warm shawl. For a moment you close your eyes, and the valley holds still for you. No rush, no pull, just the quiet, uncomplicated presence of a place that asks so little and gives so much. When you open your eyes again, the stream glows brighter. The motes drift slower. The willows seem to lean closer, their presence gentler, protective. Ahead, the path curves softly around a bend in the stream, a place where the lantern lights grow more numerous, marking the way deeper into the valley's quiet heart. You step forward, letting the glow guide you. Willowcrest has welcomed you this far, and now night itself is opening the way to its most peaceful secrets. Part 4. Night Wind Lanterns and the Valley's Lullaby. The curve of the path leads you into a place where the valley grows quieter still. Here, Glowfin's stream narrows again, its gentle voice softening into a whisper that follows you like a calm, steady breath. You walk slowly, not because you must, but because the night seems to invite slowness. Up ahead, a warm glow rises from beyond the bend, soft, flickering and gently swaying, as though suspended in the air. As you draw nearer, the shapes reveal themselves. Nightwind lanterns, hundreds of them, clusters of floating lights, drifting just above the ground, carried by the faintest breeze, their warm amber glow, moving in long, unhurried waves. The lanterns drift around you, rising and falling, with the slow rhythm of the valley's breath. Some drift close enough that you can see the delicate patterns etched across their surface, thin, swirling lines that catch the light, like the markings of old stories whispered into flame. You step among them carefully. They part for you, as though they recognize your presence, their movement gentle, almost affectionate. The willows here stand taller and further apart, their branches lifted, as if watching over the lanterns. Every so often a calm breeze moves through, carrying the soft scent of warm bark and moonlit grass. The lanterns sway with it, a long, slow ripple, passing through the glade, turning the night into a moving tapestry of light. You pause. The valley feels different now, not brighter, not darker, just quieter, as though Willowcrest has drawn a soft boundary around this place, a circle of stillness, meant only for resting. You listen. There is no rush of wind, no sharp sound, only the slow hum that rises from the lanterns as they drift, a calming, steady resonance that seems to vibrate gently through the ground beneath your feet. You sit beside the stream. The water moves lazily here, carrying long reflections of lantern light that stretch and soften as they glide downstream. Your breath begins to match its rhythm. Slow in, slow out. A softness settles behind your eyes. Not sleep just yet, but the quiet that comes. When the mind finally stops searching for the next thing, the lanterns drift around you. In a slow circle, their glow bright enough to warm the air, soft enough to let the night remain gentle. Above you, the sky deepens into velvety blue. More stars appear, small, steady lights that echo the lanterns below. The valley begins to hum again, not loudly, not insistently, just a low, soothing tone, a lullaby made of wind and willow branches and the faint, rhythmic pulse of Glowfin's stream. The sound is ancient, carried by the valley, for as long as your footsteps have carried you, you close your eyes. The air wraps around you, like a warm blanket carrying the hush of leaves and the soft rise and fall of lantern light. With each breath, your thoughts drift further outward, lighter, slower, until they settle into the quiet space the valley has made for them. You feel the weight leave your shoulders, your chest, your hands. You feel the world soften around the edges, not disappearing but blurring into something gentle, something kind. The lanterns sway closer, their glow dimming slightly, as though they too are preparing for rest. The hum lowers, becoming almost a whisper. Glowfin's stream smooths into a near-silent glide, And the valley, in its quiet, ancient way, offers you a final welcome not to a place, but to a peace that stretches beyond the night. Your breath slows, your thoughts loosen, and Willowcrest keeps you gently, quietly, as sleep begins to rise around you like a soft, embracing tide.